Good morning, YouTube and everyone else. So, I'm recording this video just to give a small update on everything. So, yeah, it's almost April. I haven't quite submitted my taxes yet, but that's because there's like a technicality I'm trying to figure out with the W-4, just because I just want to get it for my record. I know that I owe the money that I do, but I just need to understand that form and like where things are at. Um, and then also, this is kind of a weird turning point because I realized that I've been doing a lot of more mental work than I probably should be, and not to say not to say it's bad or anything, but I prefer to do what I was doing a year ago because I was like staying in shape and all that, and I was headed in the right direction as far as fitness goes, and I don't know, life just felt really good all the time when I was doing that. I was like almost obsessively like working out and stuff like that, and I wouldn't say obsessively, but doing it in a way that I was always trying to like kind of get in a run here and there, stuff like that. And then and it was just like it just felt better. Things just felt better. I didn't have to worry. I didn't feel like I worried so much about certain things. Whereas now I just feel like I'm worried about something, and then I just either have to sleep it off and then pretend like it doesn't exist, and then hopefully I just dream a good dream, and then wake up the next day, and that's not really a good way to live. I think that see, this is pretty much what has used to trigger me to do things like drink alcohol or try to try to go out to do random fun things on the weekday when really there wasn't time to do that. Time and resources and even a sense of morality involved with it that I guess I didn't have, or that I thought, or that I had, but I didn't really like want to reinforce or enforce, I guess. So, you know, so like now I'm trying to switch over a little bit, and then the other thing too is obviously I still don't have a car, but that's because right now I'm about net 4,500 after I paid my $5,000 in taxes, which I still haven't done, like I said, but I'm about to, because I just got paid today, so it's a great thing. I just feels good to get paid, I guess, on payday. But the other thing too is that I wanted to say, like, I didn't really realize how much work it would be to prep a room for renting it out. Um, there's different levels to everything that we're talking about. Like if you're talking about rehabbing a whole entire, um, apartment, you're not really getting it ready to rent out. You're just rehabbing it. You're just doing you can to do everything to improve the property in general. And then there's the next level, which is like when you're finished with that, you have to then prep the room, which is basically like doing finishing touches. But just those finishing touches kind of can make all the difference in terms of perception, because maybe you did the whole thing and you did like a small painting job, but there's still a lot of areas that have nicks and stuff like that, that you just need to touch up. And then if somebody were to go in there and they see it's imperfect, they might automatically perceive it as being old and gross and not worthy of being respectable. They might be interested in it, but maybe they may not respect it. But anyway, in the sense that they think that you didn't really invest enough for them to say, hey, this is something that I want to call my space, and I know that in order for me to do that, I have to pay someone that owns it, or as an exchange, and that's a respectable thing. But anyway, I think it's interesting because I think Mark had explained. He's like, "So are you decorating your condo?" It's like, I'm not saying that's insulting or whatever, but I'm just saying that if you think about it, there's different levels, and decorating is just like where I'm at right now. I was not even at that point yet. It's like I was still at the whole rehab point. When you talk about decorating, you're talking about kind of the surface level things. So right now, I'm trying to get all the stuff needed for it to be fully furnished, and getting some good decor to make it look modern, like to like put on the wall and stuff like that, like posters or something, mirrors and stuff like that. And that's gonna cost some money, but um, so actually, what I'm doing is I'm actually trying to see if I can budget for all that. See if I can, if I need to wait so I can get a car first and then get that. Maybe I'll end up doing that. But the problem is, I know I don't really want to wait around for this if I know that I can um, house a tenant in that room that I'm rehabbing, or not rehabbing, I mean, that I'm prepping for. So, um, because then they'll just pay, you know, rent every day, and I'm not going to use that rent necessarily, but maybe I can make up for it and just say, hey, you know what, um, maybe I could just justify whatever rent they give me. Like if they give me you know, obviously I wouldn't use their security deposit, but when they give me their first month's rent, maybe I can say, well, okay, well that would justify, because I put kind of that much into, you know, chairs and tables and stuff like that, that would justify like the cost of that to get it ready. Um, but yeah, yeah, it's kind of interesting. And now the reason why I'm finding this to be a kind of a interesting change, or like a turning point, is because like if, I'm kind of looking at this beyond everything that I tried to do when that I thought about doing when I was you know, like 25 years old in 2019. I was like 2020. I was like, shoot, I didn't know I was gonna have to do all this stuff. And it's like it kind of like it's that realization, that Pepe meme, that oh shoot, I got to do all this, you know. And then when you start realizing that, it's like everything changed. All the ideas you had and stuff like that. But it's funny because now that it's all done, it's like, it's in a way it's like I'm returning back to 2019. It's so weird. It's like you're going back in time to those times, and in the sense that I no longer have to think of all this shit anymore. Like now it's like more about what everybody else thinks on a day-to-day basis. So that's why the whole thing of like working out and stuff like that, like I kind of like that's been more on my mind. And I'm like, it's because I don't have to deal with this stupid paint or this stupid little light thing that I'm trying to put together or whatever. Now don't get me wrong, I still have to do a little bit of landscape, but that's not a big deal. I decided to do that because it's only going to cost me about $200, maybe less than that, because it's just a small area, a really small area, like 1 foot by 4 feet of landscape, that I just put some mulch on there and plant 3 plants, like rosemary and stuff like that. And so, because right now there's like nothing there, it's just these old looking bushes, and it just doesn't look very good. And it's like old paint and stuff because I dumped it on there, which is not. So I unintentionally decreased the curb appeal to pretty much zero by mistake, you know, unintentionally. So, but yeah, it's a interesting switch, because now it's like my mind can go back to those times what I was thinking about, or you know, previously, because I never looked at this as, well, I have to do something or I have to change something physically, or I looked at what this purchase as 100% financial. I didn't even know I was ever going to live here. So it's like that whole idea of switching to now it becomes your life. You're like, holy shit, you know, you kind of just think like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, it's almost like you got trapped in a mansion like Resident Evil, you know, and you're trapped there for 5 or 6 years. And it just seems so surreal. But on the other hand, not really, because this is a lifelong thing. Like this is something that that I'm going to deal with for you know, for my whole life, because it's like skills and practical things that I can use even if I'm not in my own house. You know, even though it's only going to be like less than 5% of the time that I'm doing whatever I'm doing, versus what, 90% of this shit I'm doing, or maybe 50% of whatever I'm doing. I don't know what you want to call it. But yeah, it's kind of interesting because now it leaves me more room to to try to be more organized and stuff like that. Like I said in the other video, being successful. But that's only if I choose to. So for example, if I wanted to, if it was more important for me to be like super successful versus, I don't know, caring about my wellness and my health, about like and my body and stuff, then I would probably be more spend more time organizing versus trying to work out. Um, I would say, at least in the immediate, I don't really care as much about organizing, I'll be honest, because it doesn't provide, it just makes me feel a little bit miserable. It doesn't provide as much joy as like going out, working out, and, you know, hanging out with and trying to like talk to friends and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I wanted to show you some of the progress on just the prepping. I mean, it's not really much on renting out the room. I know, apologize because there's all these clothes here because I had to take it out of the closet. But I'm basically done. I just have to. I prep the room. I just have to take this and put it in the office room, the dresser, and then there's some stuff I took out of the old dresser here, which is now in the garage, which I'm gonna try to sell for about 50 bucks. You know what? If somebody wants to, yeah, you know, so these are, because it's all new basically, and I think I bought it for about $100, 120 or something. And so you know, these are, it's like an IKEA dresser, and I don't need it anymore because it's just me. So I'm probably gonna have to put it on Facebook Marketplace. And by the way, the weather's been extremely beautiful, so that's another reason why, I guess, incentivizing me to try to go out there and just do physical exercise again, like, you know, more obsessively or more with more force. But yeah, the room is, I mean, the tape is still here. It's because I literally just painted, I did a touch up on this. Like, it wasn't painted before. I painted it yesterday, and I guess it needs another job, but I can live with, and hopefully the other tenant can live with like the one paint job, I guess. But I painted the baseboards, and then I painted, and I didn't paint the seal here. I don't think I'm going to, because I'm just gonna clean it. It needs to be cleaned. I haven't had a chance to do anything about that yet. But when I say ready, it's like 90% ready. So, you know, just the little things, you know, here and there. But you'd be surprised, this actually did take a while for me to like actually paint and stuff like that. So yeah, the how do I put this? Yeah, the room seems like it's ready almost. Let's see here. So I just have, you know, and then so I put some stuff in here, and then yeah, sorry, I'm just a little surprised. But anyway, so we have that, and then what else do I want to show you? Yeah, so it's basically almost done being prepared, the room. And let's see, I did the ceiling. I did some touch up on the ceiling because there were some like black spots and stuff like that. So yeah, the baseboard is kind of painted, was painted, and then yeah, like I said, I'm not going to do the seal. I'm just going to clean it off. What else do I want to show? And I painted the doors. So yeah, I mean, I just closed this. I could probably do something with this, but hopefully the tenant's not going to care so much about like the lack of paint on that, but it's just the vent. So yeah, here we go. And then what else? So yeah, it's basically ready to get to rent out. I put all the plates, the outlet plates there, and well, obviously I have to empty it out a little bit, but I'm gonna plan on putting this bed where my office is, and I'm still got to clear this out quite a bit. I just put all the clothes that were in that closet over here. That's why it's a big mess. I'm not renting this room out. This is my office space here. I'm not renting this room out, so a lot of it needs to be painted, but it's, you know, it's all good because it's not going to be rented out yet. So the thing about this is I'm planning on doing the touch up of the paint when I decide to rent the whole thing out, probably in about 2 or 3 years. It could be less time than that, maybe in a year from now. Depends on how much I could save and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I basically so for me to touch up, I basically touched up the whole place. You know, all these baseboards have been painted, and stuff like that. So I guess one of the reasons why I wasn't, and then the doors were painted too, and the trim as well. One of the reasons why I wasn't recording so much on YouTube is because I had to, you know, obviously this is the bathroom, and then I painted the trim here all around. The reason why I wasn't on YouTube so much is because, I mean, I was trying to deal with reading the book and trying to take notes, and, you know, I touched up here too. Reading the book and, you know, and then whatever the baseboards are here, and also the crown molding as well, and also the ceiling. And so, like, I was doing a lot of that, reading and trying to understand what to do for documentation for the property management. So obviously I'm going to have to sit down and still try to do organization with the documents. But what I was saying earlier about organizing is that in terms of like stuff that I want to do later on, maybe after the documentation, I'd probably prefer not to be so obsessed with trying to organize for things like, you know, if I want to be ultra successful or whatever. But maybe at some point I will. For a good like 4 or 5 months, I just want to like go back to how things used to be before I started doing the renos, before I started taking it more seriously. But yeah, at this point, like all these paint buckets I have to just put back in the garage, and then I'm probably gonna put some of them in the storage place that I got. But yeah, right now I'm trying to do the decor, but like probably before that I have to clean out certain things. So thanks for watching. Yeah, we'll see. I think I'm gonna get a roommate pretty soon. It's coming together. Everything's coming together, and you can see that I'm pretty much done preparing it. I just have to take stuff out and clean the sill. So, but that doesn't mean that I'm good just to randomly market it and try to find a tenant. I still have to spend the time to you know, to get all my documents together that would be related to leasing, like lease agreements and stuff like that, and house rules. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to just accept that there's certain imperfections that would be ridiculous to try to account for, and at this point, because like, you know, there's just small imperfections. Like, it's funny because like this is not a new house, so you can't expect perfection. I mean, nobody can. So you just do the best you can, and then just, you know, submit or whatever. So thanks for watching.